very young people, like 17, 16 years, driving these tricycles and then driving it rough. You'll be surprised to know that they are under the influence of those substances.
Even among themselves, if they want to thief somebody among themselves, they give you the medicine.
For you to be
the moment you take it, you are off.
In our society, especially in the northern society,
Right.
the father is the most feared.
Yes.
Right.
And the most revered.
Yes.
Right.
So if you are not in the life of your children and leave the children to only the mothers,
Yep.
the mothers, they will only do what they can do.
Yes.
We have fathers, immediately they come back from work, they are sitting outside.
Yes.
At camps.
They call it
They'll
base.
sit there till 1.
You can be a man of integrity, have all the money in the world, have all the properties, and your successors will bring you down because
Right.
you
Even
were
before
not
you
present in their lives.
The father comes home.
You don't
He
complain.
has an issue with you.
Yes.
And you, the lady, you insult the man in front of the children. You talk rubbish. You say anything at all you want in front of the children. They now go like, the father, the person like me, I'm scared of. The person I'm not scared of is disciplining the one I'm scared of.
It is the responsibility of a parent to be so present that at least 80% you'll be able to know what your children are involved in.
Then times when if I do something, someone elsewhere can discipline me for what I have done.
Yes.
If your child goes wrong, somebody can discipline your child.
Yes.
Ask yourself, can we do that now?
Choice is good, but choice of safety is better.
So come da kul for me, Lolo come da kul for me, kate wum de filango. Oda vola table, ndani guluguya kate dalari.
Okay, so welcome to another exciting episode of the North Podcast right here in the beautiful city of Tamale. My name is Prince Hamdan, and today we are going to be talking about a very serious issue. I mean, one that is very dear to my heart, and I'm sure it is very dear to the hearts of all my panelists today. Today I have my brother with me in the studio. Damba is in the studio, and branded and represented. Snap make you stop, they give you pressure for
Charlie,
this
you don't be
show.
pressure. For attempts I'm meeting.
And my sister as well, Fela, is in the building.
Hi.
CEO of Mickey's Inn
Sharp.
is in the building.
Sharp.
We're going to be talking about this issue that has been, a big issue. I remember when I posted about it on my page. I mean, it was trending. Everybody was complaining about, this same issue.
Right.
I went for more Keep Fit, and then we were just talking. Somebody came to call, their son. The kids usually come around to watch play and also play in the mornings. So the mother came, or is it the auntie, to call him. And the boy wasn't ready to go home.
Yeah.
So he came to complain to us that for 3 days the boy hasn't gone home, and they've been looking for him. So she came and then saw him, and he's calling him to go home. And then he was still not, he was still adamant going. And then we were alarmed. All the men there were a bit, angry. And then we called him, and then we were asking him why he hasn't gone to the house. And then the mother or the auntie rather started explaining that the mother and the father are in separate places. So sometimes he goes to the father, and sometimes he goes to the mother. But when he does something wrong, he refuses to go to the father's place. So the father will be of the mentality that he's with the mother. But with the mother too, he doesn't sit at home, or he doesn't come home sometimes.
Right.
So they were alarmed, and then the father was looking for him. And the father he didn't go to the father because he had skipped school. And the father was looking for him. So he refused to go to the father's end. And now at the mother's end. But how to get him to go to the father was a problem. So she saw him and came to call him. And he wanted to refuse to go. And then we rather, pushed him and asked him to go and see the father before we caned him.
Yeah.
And then the conversation started about how, even children of his age, and I think he was about 9 years. Children of his age are now even indulging in substances, smoking weed and, other substances. And the conversation sparked, and to the extent that there are even now young ladies being a part of, this issue. Right. So when the discussion started, I was a bit alarmed, and I said, no, we have to make a conscious effort to talk about it, and as young people, as people within the community, to see what we can also do on our own to curb these issues. I don't know whether any of you have experienced any of our young people getting into these things or abusing substances or seeing, because one that I can clearly remember is when at night, if you go out at night, you around 10, 11, 12, you still see these kids roaming about.
Yeah.
What are they doing at that time? Right, let me start with you.
Right. Okay. So, like you mentioned earlier, it's a big issue, and it's not just with us, but it's with people around us too. And the only way to stop this is when we are all involved, when we all get involved. It should start from the house, then to the community, then to the region, before it gets to the bigger platforms. Because no one will be willing to help. And especially now that we are this time of the year or season, should I say, people are concentrating on themselves and how to make themselves better, because things have gotten tough. The people that are supposed to help are not also helping. So sometimes out of problems, people are not able to tell what is going wrong or not. So as a community, if we come together to fight some of these things, it will help. Why am I saying this? Lately, if you go out in town, like you mentioned, you see people, kids that are not supposed to be out, staying out till very late. And you see other ones, very young people like 17, 16 years, driving these tricycles and then driving it roughly. You would be surprised to know that they are under the influence of those substances. And these substances are actually making things worse for us. And things are going to get bad if we don't stop them now.
Wow.
Yes.
Let me come to you. What is happening? What is going wrong?
Okay, so quite recently, I chanced on a video of females from my own town lamenting on how regretful they are on the use of substances, which is drug abuse, and how it has affected their lives. I felt very bad. I felt very sad as a young lady, trying my possible best to make it in life. And not just making it in life, it's really pride. It is wonderful for you to make it and still be looking healthy.
And be a responsible woman.
Yes. Being healthy doesn't just come in physical appearance. Am I mentally sound? Am I emotionally sound? Am I religiously sound? Am I socially sound? These are the factors we need to consider. Now, are these young ladies and young men in these abuse of substances totally to be blamed? Because we all are quick to point at the nearest guy with a saggy jeans, very dark lips, his eyes looking so smoky.
Dready hair.
Then I tap on the next person's shoulder and I'm like, Kunyamonku Vogo Ginger, my local died. Just look at how saggy he is. Walking about over there. In fact, he's a useless boy. She's a useless girl. Are they totally to be blamed?
Wow.
You and I are young. We are at a stage where we are actually in our very right senses. We are in our normal senses. I'm of age. No matter the pressure that is coming from my family and my society, am I ready? Am I financially okay? Am I mentally okay? Am I socially okay enough to get married in the first place? Ask yourself these questions and not rush into the marriage. We don't. We rush into the marriage to impress our families. We rush into the marriages to impress our peers and society when we are not even in the position to buy 3 square meals for our own selves. then you bring forth children. Even in the process of bringing forth the children, you haven't put in measures and considerations to the fact that, come on, my financial status is not okay enough. Let me give birth to 2 children. Let me give birth to 1 for now so that I can keep looking out for my future. I can keep chasing certain dreams. Let me give birth to 3. I'm telling you for a fact that I come from a society where an older person can see the suffering of a young lady and still go ahead to tell the young lady that, oh, hurry up and give birth. Just add the children. Just give. God will take care of them. We are not being fair to the end results of these children and adults who find themselves in drug abuse. Wow. Now, these children find themselves out in the world. They are trying to survive. Some of them are really hungry to that extent that 3 square meals is a problem.
Even one is a big deal. Yeah.
And you see, the mentality that was, the advice and mentality that was adapted by the victim's parents long ago that just gave birth to them, God will take care of them, motivates such parents to be more irresponsible.
After all, God is taking care
and
of them.
that is where, when they say responsibility, it's not just about waking up as a man, excuse my language, get inside your pocket, take chop money, give it to the woman, take care of the children, and you are gone. Are you present in the lives of the children?
I think hold it there. We'll come back and then we continue from where you stopped. Damba.
Yeah, Charlie. So
I know you are one of the people who is very well, interested in this conversation.
Exactly.
What is your take?
Yes. So Prince, so as someone who has been in the media space for a very almost 10 years now, I've learned so much with regards to substance abuse as far as the youth is concerned. But first, there is one question we should ask ourselves, whether we ourselves are supposed to be blamed. Myself, you, all of us, you understand, the society in general. Now, normally we say peer influence, but let's not also forget that we have forgotten the one thing, that was the golden rule, the idea of the rule and regulations. Not just our laws, that is the Ghana laws and what have you.
The constitutional laws.
Not the constitutional laws, but
social laws.
Social laws, our tradition. And we are saying this because basically we are talking about the North. You understand? Then times when, like, if I do something, someone elsewhere can discipline me for what I have done.
Yes.
If your child goes wrong, somebody can discipline your child.
Yes.
Ask yourself, can we do that now? Nobody can discipline my child. And when you ask them, they say, so can be la. You understand? Nobody can equally discipline your child. The moment somebody hits your child, the moment somebody spanks your child, the next minute is, let's go to the house and then find out, why did you do this to my son or my girl child? And that is where the whole thing started from.
Some even go as far as police station.
Very good. And there is one thing, familiarity is a killer. The moment I'm staying with you in the house, I no longer fear you. So the only person who could handle you properly is somebody out
outside.
there. Yeah. But I have also now made it so difficult for the one outside there to discipline you. So in the end, whatever you want to do, you do it.
So do you think the social structure is broken?
It's broken. It's totally broken. Well, like, forgive me to say this. You go to our chief palaces, then you see people like boys at the chief palace smoking and stuff.
Yes.
You understand? So you have instances where even the police, those who are supposed to enforce the law, they catch them with weed and stuff. Soldiers. You understand? So if they were those supposed to make sure that the law is working, at the end of the day, they are now also indulged in what is going on. We have instances, forgive me, where like we have places where okay, in Tamale, if you go here, you are going to get these people doing this stuff and stuff. Once there is this information that, okay, operation is going to take place here, You have the security personnel, some of them calling them to let them know that we are going to do operation at your places today. For that matter, don't come out today. You understand? So until we ourselves will sit down and realize that we actually want to do this, we actually want to save our society. You see, well, you were saying 20 years. In the next 10 years, I think 10 years is even far, because way back 5 years ago, people were like, in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years. We are done with the 5 years. We are now going to the next second 5 years. You understand? Go to the street and see. We have kids around 15 years who have gone mad.
15 years is too far.
12 years. Yes. You understand? 13. Even in my area, we have the chow of them. We have places where like the people smoke here and stuff. But at the end of the day, even the community where we are sitting, we don't even come out to do anything.
But you're talking about the social, structure being broken.
Yes.
And people not bothering about.
We don't even bother.
But don't you also think that a bit of that can be blamed on some of the, governmental policies or laws that, get into the system?
Hamdan. You see, Damba is very right about what he's saying. But where does it start from?
That is it.
Family.
Yeah, exactly.
Parents and family. Yes. If you are not present in the lives of your children, you would not know what they do.
Exactly.
It is the responsibility of a parent to be so present that at least 80% you'll be able to know what your children are involved in. But I'm telling you that apart from parents' surnames sometimes, if they bring someone's child and tell the parent to identify even physical stuffs on the child, the parent cannot identify.
I think I'm not disputing that fact. The point I'm trying to make is regards to the society in general. Being responsible for children those days. But then now, even in schools, because schools were the other place where children are trained. Now in school, if a child goes wrong, a teacher cannot do anything
to a child. So our educational structure has kind of like affected our kids.
So it means it's a multifaceted problem.
Exactly. So we need to tackle this issue holistically. So this is one issue I've also realized. Do you know that now our children spend more time in schools than at home?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So they don't have any connection with us.
With the parents,
And see one funny thing about the whole thing too. During holiday, the lady even goes like, if they are going to be in the house, they are going to disturb me.
So let's go and put them in extra classes.
Classes, or send them to their grandmother's
It's all
house.
about formal education.
Send them to their grandfather's house. So they are not even closer to the kids. Like Phyla was saying, most of us think that the moment you remove the money from the pocket and give to the child, that is all. But there is so much involved in bringing up a child. Emotionally, the child needs you. Needs a father figure, needs a mother figure.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, and that is why sometimes we have guys, they just want to be part of the process of, so they make sure that they send their kids to school.
Yes.
And sometimes that is the only involvement they have with the child, sending the child to the school. Because he's even in a haste to drop the child and go to work. So at the end of the day, the child has a link up with the outside world, even more than home. So whatever is going to happen out there, it is now left with the child who is not mentally matured enough
to make decisions
for themselves. So very difficult and very sad. You understand? So I'm hoping that we as parents, we can try as much as possible. Yes, I know the children are supposed to be in school, but at the end of the day, we should have time for them.
And factor them into our lives.
Beautiful. Let's add them to the equation. Okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. Okay, I have this time for my kids. Sometimes even at night, we are busy working. You just want them to sleep.
Okay.
You understand? So I think if we are able to do some of these things, in one way or the other, we are going to find solutions to some of these problems.
I have a point to make, but you come in.
I understand Hamdan's questioning the governmental policies. What I have to say about that is, we as a society or the community or a family should look beyond governmental policies.
Yes.
Let's risk it.
Yes.
Let's straighten these kids.
Rahim,
Let's
I'm
make
not
sure
cutting you
things
short.
yes.
Is that not same of the way our generation
Was
is
growing up.
even behaving? That you come out, the government doesn't even have planned for you as a graduate, but yet you find your fate.
Yes.
No, but
You
the-
try
the
to find
issue
your
is-
fate
the issue-
beyond the government.
The issue there is that, you know, when things are not when everything is okay, the government, you won't hear anything from the government.
Yes.
But when something goes wrong, that's
hear
where
it from
you
them.
get issues.
Yes.
I quite remember when some children who had their leaked tapes in WA were lashed at the what was the name at the Chief's Palace. Like people descended on them.
Yes.
them.
The tradition for doing what
for
they
doing
did.
what, and they even took them. They arrested elders from the palace.
Very good.
So that's the point I'm trying to make.
Beautiful. So until
And-
we go back to
Exactly.
where we came from,
Exactly.
until we go back to the root,
So
you
I-
understand, we are going to have issues with. And
We
the
have
government,
started
you
having
see,
issues.
The government doesn't care.
Of
They
course,
don't.
You understand?
Of
They don't
course.
The
really
government
care.
is about trying to. He's trying to be in the safe net.
Yes.
Where like he looks so beautiful in the face of the outside world. People
that's
they
that's
borrow
our
money
problem.
from.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's our
Right.
Go
problem.
like human
Right.
rights
That
and
is
what
a
have
big
you.
problem.
You understand?
That is a big
so
part of the
until
problem.
we at least to correct level man, until we reduce it.
That's
And
that's
make
a
sure that
beautiful
we
point.
are going to put matters in our own hands.
That's my point.
You understand?
We have
And
to
bring
put
back
matters
the
in our own
principles
hands.
where we have come from.
Because Africa is always Africa.
Africa
It
is
can't
Africa.
be like any other continent.
That be the thing.
You see, in the outside world, they have things to get. They also abuse substances. I saw in the
Even
news.
way more.
I saw in the news earlier yesterday that there's this new drug in the market and it
Yeah.
kills you instantly.
Like within minutes.
Within minutes, you go off, and it's there. It's starting from. It will find its way in here. However, it's going to do that. We all don't know. But that's with our security systems not checking things well.
That's
That's
the
with
point
the
I'm
food and
making.
drug boards not
Not
doing
doing
things.
where
the
where
right
do we
things to do.
categorize them? Government.
Government. So that's my point. But let's say at home, you the father, you are not even around. Let's say you are supposed to work. You
Yes.
go out to work. Make sure every chance you get,
And I
call
totally
call
agree
the
with you.
home.
I totally agree with you because
Exactly.
I believe 100% that fathers
Yes.
are the number one to blame.
Yep.
Fathers are the
Yes.
number one
Yes.
to blame.
We are supposed to
For
be the
this
security
issue.
systems, the friends, everything, especially if it's a boy child. How do you care?
In our society, especially in the northern society,
Right.
the father is the most feared
Yes.
Right.
and the most revered.
Yes.
So if you are not in the life of your children and leave the children to only the mothers,
Yep.
It's a
the
problem.
mothers they would only do what they can do.
Yes.
We have fathers, immediately they come back from work, they are sitting outside.
Yes.
At camps.
They call it
They'll
base.
sit there till 1.
Yes.
The tire base.
The time you would ensure that your children are sleeping.
Yes.
You are not there to
You are
ensure
not
it.
there. The
So
mother
wherever they
eventually
are-
helps the female one to
She
sneak
is
out
tired.
and come back before the
She
father
is
repents.
cooking.
Where has she
She
sneaked
is doing
to?
this. Who is there to support?
No one.
Because she maybe she just stepped out to buy something and come. The children are out. How is she going to know that the children have stepped out? She is cooking. How is she looking for children?
You have children having very big phones in their lives.
You
Small
get it.
children in their lives at home, and
Right.
none of the parents even know
aware
that they
of it.
have
So
such
for
a
me,
phone.
I think the blame is at 99% at the doorstep of us, the fathers.
Our families.
Especially within our northern setting.
Yes.
We have a certain attitude, northern men,
Yeah.
or a certain character that like the children are like for mothers to take care of.
Hamdan, it's really sad. These are things that Mbaka can bear with me that we Northerners have come, especially our youth,
Yes.
our time. We've come out to try to talk about these things and they shut us down.
No,
They try to
doesn't make
emotionally
sense.
blackmail us not
It
to
doesn't
talk
make
about
sense.
it. But if it
doesn't make
hasn't
sense.
affected me directly,
But
it is just maybe I decided not to go wayward for my own self.
Yeah.
What about my brother? What about my cousin? What about my niece?
yeah.
And you see, all of these issues we are talking about, we should all be concerned because we don't know when these children will turn into something else.
Into something
And we
else.
don't know who their target will be.
Yes.
So just yesterday,
Yes.
I saw on Facebook it happened in Nigeria. Someone killed his mother just because the mother refused him 1,000 naira. I don't know how.
Did
much
we think
the
an
conversion
African can
is
do such a
going to
thing?
be in the city.
Did
But
we even
Yes, I think
think
some
Yes.
few
an
Ghana
African can
cedis.
there
Some
do
few
such
Ghana
a thing?
cedis.
No.
According to him, he needed money from the mother to go and attend the funeral or to buy cloth and attend the funeral. The mother withdrew some money, came and then gave him half. And he was wondering, when he was stepping out, the mother was like, go and find work. Your mates are working and all of that. He got angry, used something on her. And when they were trying to talk, he said he is ready to die.
Yeah,
He
okay,
knows
I
what
saw
he
the
has done.
video.
Believe
I saw
me,
the
he
video
wouldn't
this
have any
morning.
regrets
Yeah,
doing that.
nothing to lose.
He wouldn't
And
have
this
any regrets
probably
doing that.
is because of substances he's been
Yes,
taking.
and also-
Sometimes you
So
see, it
if
puts
we
you
are
off.
always trying to say that men are the pillar of households,
Yes.
let me tell you something, Damba. You can be a man of integrity, have all the money in the world, have all the properties, and your successors will bring you down because
Right.
you
Even
were
before
not
you die.
present in their lives
Even
Exactly.
before you die, yeah.
to teach them the way.
Exactly so.
And you see,
You allow them to live the way they want.
Yeah.
You can't allow children to live the way they want as from age 0 to especially 15 and think that you can now
teenagers.
come into their lives
It's
at
not
that time and
possible.
tell
Yeah.
them what you think is right.
They would have been strong enough
The
to
stage
rebel.
where you should have invested emotionally in them, intelligently, psychologically, mentally, fill them with the spirit of prayer and godliness such that when they get to that stage,
nobody
believe
can
me,
corrupt
even
them.
if you are not there, let's say nature takes you away, death.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that an outsider cannot influence
one
the
can
child
break
to
them.
go wayward.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. And
But we allow outsiders to already train the child.
Yeah.
We allow the children to train themselves. And even when they are not willing to train themselves, we bring out slogans such as emotionally, like we want to tell them, look at your colleague.
Yes.
Do you know what their colleagues are doing?
so they will now start looking at people.
Yes. And eventually take upon habits that their colleagues do
Yeah.
to look older than they should be
Yeah.
and begin to live like
So you
adults.
see, when you talk about broken homes, people feel like, okay, there is divorce and
No.
Both parents can still be around,
The
And the house is
already
broken.
but the
Yeah.
house
The
is
home is
broken.
already
Right.
broken.
So until you see, and until we also know the reason why we are getting married. Once you know that, okay, we are now married, and so we should have a common interest than the individual interest.
Yeah.
Nobody should be selfish, especially when kids are involved.
Yes.
Once we know that, okay, this guy has done this to me, like I go ball, but because of set 1, 2, or 3,
Yes.
I'll control myself. Okay, this lady, she mess up, but let me control myself because of the kids. And I've always told people that, see, until you take the kids as the ultimate in your marriage and now consider them, no matter the situation, we want to make this thing work.
Yes.
And so let's consider them before our own selfish interest. We are going to have issues. Now, you mentioned something like the man should be in charge of the house. There is one thing we should take into consideration. Do you know that normally when a child is having an issue or is misbehaving, the next minute they go like, no bola baba, we are going to call your father.
Father, yeah.
It means that the child doesn't fear the mother.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So if the father way like
For their God.
for their guard, you understand? Now, to the ladies, Phyla, you guys. Now the child, the one like you, the child know they see you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then the next minute, he's misbehaving. They goes like call the father to discipline. Even you, the mother, will go like, I'll tell your father. I'll tell your father. The father comes home.
You don't
He
complain.
has an issue with you.
Yes.
And you, the lady, you insult the man in front of the children. You talk rubbish. You say anything at all you want in front of the children. They now go like, the father, the person like me, I'm scared of. The person I'm not scared of is disciplining the one I'm scared of. It means that I shouldn't be afraid
So you
of
see,
this man.
Damba.
You understand? So at the end of the day, it is now going to affect the leadership structure in the house. So the children now goes like, okay, if my mother can say anyhow to my father, and I was scared of my mother,
I can
then
live the way I
can
want.
say whatever I want to, even my father. That is when you now see that the father will now be going like, Stop what you are doing. You understand? Then we are messing up the house. We are messing up. So until we just understand that, see, and even God self, God doesn't make mistake. He can never make mistake when he says that, see, the man should be in
The
charge
head
of the
house.
house. He should be the head of the house.
Let it manifest. We
Very
want to
good.
see it manifest.
Abang Labo, let's give that mantle to the man. And the man too should live up to expectation.
be
Then you see
responsible.
that this particular issues, man, we are going to solve it. Because if society is not helping you, you need to help yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
I do a big bolle. If you give birth to a child and then you call him is the lion and
Yes.
stuff, at the end of the day, once he grows older, he's going to chop you. You understand? So until we instill that discipline back, the idea of, okay, don't stop caning children in the schools, don't beat my child, until we know that, okay, my brother's child is my child.
Yes.
My cousin's child is my child. And if they are misbehaving and I don't control them or help them, they might transfer it to my own
Damba,
children.
we find ourselves in a society where your own biological brother is rooting for their child to be better than yours. And sometimes the mile some of them
That's
go
true.
is to see your children being
And some
useless.
even go spiritual.
So yes. So like in a manner, your own brother should be able to discipline your child, even in your presence or absence.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't mind.
They don't mind. That's the thing. So
They don't
Sometimes,
mind. Yes.
sometimes
Mind.
I just tell people I'm lucky to grow up where I grew up.
Yes.
We all grew up with a lady being the head of the house.
Exactly.
My grandmother,
Yes.
very strong woman,
Yes.
and she would make sure every grandchild of hers grows up with her. Fila is a witness.
I'm a witness.
We all attend the same school, and she makes sure everybody comes home when school closes.
And believe me, just being a mere friend to them, going into their
house,
home, you
yes.
must look.
You'll be straight.
Very
you must
straight.
look straight to go
Very
into
straight.
that
Look,
house.
you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
When you go wrong, she has a way of disciplining you, and by herself. She would call the rest of us to hold whoever is wrong, put on the table, and she would say, "Bring me some cake, very fresh
And
cake."
Baba was
And
also that strong.
you know, you would receive
She'll trip you like
it,
something.
and then
Yeah,
she would show you love to let you know
Exactly.
she's not only
She
doing
doesn't
it out
hate
of
you.
hate. She's doing it to straighten you for you to be a better person in
And
the
she's
future.
not caning
And she'll
you for
let
your
know.
eyeball to
And she'll let you
No,
know.
yes.
She
She's
lost.
caning you a manner you
Yes.
will feel it
She
and know
lost,
that
she
you are
lost
wrong.
her husband when she was pregnant for her last child, which is the 9th one. She single-handedly took care of 9 children and brought them all up to be good people.
So I think that goes to also make a point that though the men are responsible in or should be the head responsible for bringing up the family,
Yes.
the women also play a critical role.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Even when the men are not doing, we know the women are already doing great.
Yes.
Even when the men are not doing what they are supposed to do,
Yep.
you can't just throw your hands in despair.
Yes.
You still need to find a way,
Yes.
because all men cannot be the same.
Right.
There are men who want their children to grow up in a very, good manner and become responsible citizens. Right. But there are just some who won't care.
Yes.
Right. So in that moment, as a mother who feels that these children are going to go wayward, you can step in as a mother. I mean, to also, discipline. Just as I said, my mom was a disciplinarian, right? You do 1, 2, no, like
One time.
you're on the floor.
One
Right.
time.
It go beat like physics. It go beat you.
Yes.
You
In
get
a
it?
way, it
So
helps.
you even if your father is not there, you dare not misbehave.
Right.
Right. Because we live in a world where like men has to, though majority of us
Up and
lazy
down.
about, men have to go through a lot.
Yeah.
To be able to find money. I mean, to support the family.
No be easy.
And sometimes it's not their will that they are not always around. But I don't understand the point Rahim was making. There is a way your presence can still be felt,
Yes.
even when you are not at home.
Around.
Exactly.
Right.
So for me, I think our men need a lot more education
yes.
to understand that from age 0, right up till your son or your
Mid-teens.
daughter leaves your home to wherever, whether for marriage, for school or whatever, you have to be in you have to be there every step of the way.
Yes.
Because the moment you turn this way, somebody's in there to corrupt your child.
Yes.
You get it? So
Exactly.
there are a lot of parents, like their child, things will be happening to their children.
Yes.
They won't even know.
Yep.
when we started this conversation at the field, there was one story that came up that there was this young lady, very brilliant, in a particular school. So she was she was loud. She was not rowdy, but she was, participating in school and, all of that. It got to a time she was very quiet. She was no longer, the person they knew her to be. That is in the class. So, and this is a school that is very particular, about the situation that we are all talking about, children indulging in these things. So usually they do bring people in, counselors in to counsel these students and all of that. And I think we need to applaud, some of the teachers, because there are some teachers who go the extra mile just to, find a way to motivate these children. Yes. Though there are those governmental principles or, laws that, certain things shouldn't happen in the school. There are some of the teachers who still feel that there could be a way. Yeah. So one teacher, commented on my post that before every lesson, he uses 5 minutes of his time to have moral talks with the children.
Wow.
And I was so touched by that. Wow. And I think if a lot of teachers can, do that, it will go a long way to, bridge that gap that is in between.
Yeah.
But to continue the story, so that girl became quiet all of a sudden. So when the school brought in the people to talk to them, after the session, the girl went to one of the teachers, that's the assistant headmaster, to confide in him what she has been going through and what it has led her into.
Wow.
So what happened was that in their house, the least mistake, the mother will insult her.
One time.
The least mistake, the mother will compare her to other ladies out there. So she didn't find any, comfort being home anymore. Lo and behold, there was a valley where, these guys normally sit and smoke.
Yeah.
Oh.
She started moving towards there. Yeah. Before you realize, she started smoking weed.
That's all.
Just to get over the
mother
pressure.
didn't even know. Nobody in the family got to know
because they don't care.
They don't really, all the time, what they are interested in is what she does wrong.
Yep.
We are not there to encourage our children.
No.
We are not there to tell them, okay, this thing, you did it this way, but then it's wrong. Next time, do it like this. Why did you do this?
Yep.
Those kind of aggressiveness. Next time, she'll step away.
Yes.
So the girl started smoking and started doing all of those things. So when she confided in the teacher, the school delegated some teachers to go to the house. They went there and they spoke with the mother. They made her understand that, you see, this is what your actions has caused your daughter. You are losing her.
Beautiful.
Because if she takes these substances to a certain point, she'll be out.
Forget it.
And would you believe that in some households, from where I come from, they will not really care even after the teachers have left?
Yes.
And it would even be a problem on the girl.
Yes,
because they would go like
and you see,
it boils back
to you,
to what is currently happening to certain parents. They are full of regrets.
Yes.
They are going through a lot. No matter how we try to polish it, they are hurting deep down inside, watching their children and how they are now.
Yes. Father, I don't know whether you have come across the video from Bimbila where there is this lady, she has regretted with her child.
Okay, she was firstly joking about it, and now she came out to actually speak about her life.
Because she was she's a smoker or something like that.
Yes.
She has been abusing those
drugs
substances for some time now. And now she's kind of sorry for herself. And you understand? And so, and you see, there is one thing to that society with regards to what you said. We don't give a second chance. And that is where the problem is. We have rehab centers.
Yeah.
But back to the government policies. I feel like government should do more on the rehab centers. when somebody from Tamale, they have to go to Accra.
Yeah, before they
For
can get
rehab,
treatment.
For rehab.
That's bad.
That is bad.
We have enough lands here that can build those things.
to get enough rehab centers.
Right.
And that goes to make the point that the government really doesn't care about.
They don't.
No, they don't care. What they care about
this
is
is
to
a
look
big
good
issue.
in the face of foreign.
And nobody's even talking about it.
That be the thing.
It's a big issue. That person who told us these stories told us that if you get to the Abu Abu, like inside there,
My goodness.
like
Charlie,
you
it's
will
very
get
sad.
heart attack.
At night,
You
like
get
around
heart attack.
Rabbi Martin and stuff. If you go in there, it is very sad. Them boys were like 5 years, 6
Come
years
on.
ago, they
What
were kind of
reason
like
do they
showing
have
off monies and stuff.
be outside
Now
at
when you
that
go
time?
there,
What reason do
around
they have?
12 there, 12, 1, 2, it's so unfortunate.
see?
So-
now, I was saying something about second chance. Over here, we don't give second chance. People go like, when in actual sense, if we are able to bring these people closer
You
to
should be
ourselves,
talking to them.
we should be talking to them. But we feel like it shouldn't be so. Because whether we like it or not, yes, but find a man in that situation, man.
But-
how do we solve it?
And it even goes back to the point you made earlier on. Do we know what harm they are going to bring into this society?
Exactly.
But Pam Dohla yolo no. They'll go and pick your mother and go and throw her away in the
Yes,
gutter.
what I do, into ko biji,
Biji, kabatoro la ko jia bi.
Look,
So they
you
were
understand?
even lucky that he stopped.
I'm telling you.
and this is
Oku
someone
Park me
probably
o,
someone
Nini
has
Shebe.
has
Yeah.
tried
Kadi-
giving a job
Kadi-
and a
yes.
livelihood because
Livelihood.
the Elo doesn't even belong to him.
You get it?
So let me tell you, there are
So if the
Mamia,
person takes away the
Timagaya.
yellow now, how is the person not being helpful
Aya,
to your
Kati
child?
Magbaya, Marabjela Tabne, the Trinity. You see, we have some of Shelby and happy pills. Happy pills, but when you
How
are
can
sad.
I not be mad? And then I just
Very
I
good.
just take those
Happy
substances
pills, man.
and I'm
Happy pills, man. All the time, we're not like happy. I'm the Chamoka won't time the old problems. They forget
For how
about their
long?
problems.
How long?
So they are always happy. And some of the pills, too, once they take it, even normally, even among themselves, if they want to like kind of like thief somebody among themselves, they give you the medicine.
For you to be
The moment you
overdose.
take it, you are off. So they can do whatever they want to do with you. There is one video just 2 days ago. The guy got to a particular shop. One guy was seated just in front of the shop on a plastic chair. He took Lala medicine, man. Kakujia and Behijia. The guy took basically everything, his Mapuka key, his phones, everything. He was just sitting down there sleeping. And some of the pills too, when you take it, you just be looking at me. You'll be laughing. I'll be removing your things. You just be looking. Kakunang happy joy. You understand? So you see, security forces, mama. You see that there will be a time they will go around, say they kind of like they are arresting those who are
Operations
selling
and
that
stuff,
kind of drugs, ma'am. Then the next minute, those people are there selling those drugs
back
again.
to
Let me tell you,
business,
there are
yeah.
certain people like within town, yeah. Pumpong Abampa control a lot of things, there are those selling those drugs.
Yes.
Of course,
But
but
Damba,
business
Damba
is-
and the other people, I don't know if you would agree with me. Let's get back to the old ways of doing things.
That be all.
Let's form
Is that
volunteers to be able to stop these things. So if the security forces are corrupt in doing things like this for us, how about we doing it for
So you
ourselves?
see, the
Ourselves,
one
that's
who
the
can
ourselves
instill
I'm-
that
I'm
discipline,
interested
Maya,
in.
is the chief police.
So we form
Yeah,
a group.
man.
We form groups. We go to the chief. Tell them this is what we are going to do. We are informing the police. We are informing this.
Yes.
We want to fight for ourselves because it might not be my child,
No,
but the next person's child might
But-
do something. Take these drugs and then come and hunt me.
Exactly.
So come but look, bro. Let's avoid
And
all
see one
these
funny thing, the moment
things.
we start Lala agenda, Lala movement, those people who are seriously involved, behind you, they go and then see the chief palaces. They go and see those people who are supposed to make sure that this law is working, and then they shut them down.
And I think
don't
because
know.
of substance abuses, it's not only the substance abuses and all of that. Now we have a lot more hookup girls in Tamale
social
than,
vices
than
that are
even other
increasing.
places.
Even in other
Yes,
you know,
places.
and even these drug guys, they have ladies
Yes,
and girls
they
among
pay.
them, and what they do to these girls, like it will shock you.
It's sad. And you see, this to me, I don't want to enter inside religious matters. But you see,
I'm coming, Damba.
I'm coming there.
My problem with me and social media is that we don't want the truth.
Of course, yeah.
And we can only grow with the truth.
Right.
See, I'm agreeing with Rahim to still tell you that these things, in a way, is manly.
Of course.
It's still a power of a man and how he runs his home.
Exactly.
Ask me why. We are from the north. We find ourselves in this part of the north. Rahim, you are mentioning those days. Those days, our fathers and their brothers and their uncles and whatever found themselves in big houses.
Together.
Where everyone is watching everyone's child.
Sharp.
As we sit.
Everybody.
When somebody makes money, the person isolates themselves, go and build their house.
That's
just their
all
wife and their kids. And believe me, the nearest uncle or auntie coming in is termed as a witch. They want to live that soul life forever. Can you alone train that child if you are being true to yourself?
Never.
Can you?
Never.
Now, let's come back to this other point. We find ourselves in a generation, in a society of polygamy. People don't want us to talk about.
I wanted to come
but
there.
we must fear God and talk about it. We find ourselves in a society now where a man moves on to pick a second wife.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't care how the first wife and the second,
And
the children are doing. Even if he will see the first wife's children, then they are coming to look for him.
Yeah.
A man leaves the first wife or second wife and the children and is with his favorite wife for over 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 week. Just 1 week can turn a life child around to
And
go
that switch is
wayward.
dangerous.
To go wayward. That switch is dangerous.
Yes.
Because the child within the next 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, my father is not going to be home. I can do what I want. And this is the period my mom wants to think about herself. Oh, but after all, she's even mad at my dad. My dad really doesn't even care.
Yeah.
It boils back to the family. If men are willing to practice polygamy, look, we see certain men practice polygamy and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You fall for it. You wish that person was that close to you.
So there's
You
one man
can
I
be
know.
a smart man. You can intentionally be a smart man and keep very wonderful women together as wives
Yeah, man.
by doing it the smart way. First of all, the wives you are picking, ensure that they are strong women who can take charge of being a man in your absence.
Sweet.
So I was trying to say something.
Get this picture right. You see, let's not continue to use our Holy Quran to blackmail the intentional things we are doing in the society that are going wayward on our children.
wrong,
Remember, regardless of how we try to polish it,
I totally
that
agree
same
with you.
Quran has told us that one day we are going to be questioned.
Account for
Account for it.
all of these children that are going.
So no matter how we
answer
are
for
pretending
them.
not to talk about these issues, myself sitting here, I'll be happy that someday my mouth can testify that I spoke the truth. Because we have been told
I totally
that
agree
if you
with
bring
you.
a child into this life, one day you will be assessed and questioned
As to how.
on how you raised that child.
Exactly.
Would you be fair to yourself on how you actually raised
Raise
that
your
child?
children,
It is our responsibility as children. I bear with certain parents that we just have certain children that the Quran has really spoken about, that those children too would be in existence because God had written about it in the Quran, that these are sets of children, no matter how much responsible their parents are, they will still break away. There are going to be quite a few. But how many of such do we see without getting back to get evidence that their parents were irresponsible?
For me, I don't even believe in that point that the
Many
Quran,
of them-
the Quran has said that some children will break away. The fact is that God doesn't want anybody to be. God didn't create any bad child.
Yeah.
It boils
God
down-
hasn't created and
Hamdan.
said that this boy or
Hamdan.
this girl is going to go
Hamdan,
bad.
Rahim.
It's us.
It's us.
It's us.
Get onto the streets
When
and
your
interview.
child gets bad,
Interview
no matter how
90%
good a
of these
parent
children.
you are,
They are
you went
coming
wrong
from
somewhere.
polygamous families
Exactly.
that don't care about them.
And especially we, the Muslim community.
Yes.
we take so much pride in having money and marrying many wives.
Yes.
But it goes beyond that.
If you see some of us coming from
goes
those
beyond that.
polygamous families, and we are living right, it's because it was a choice, not because we didn't come across circumstances that would have made us go wayward. Believe me on this.
Yes.
But will others be as strong as we were? No.
And just as you said earlier on, you see, polygamy or marrying one or two or more wives, it's not, it shouldn't be a thing of pride.
Yes.
It should be a thing of responsibility.
Responsibility. That is the word.
If you can, and even the Quran itself says it,
Yeah, man.
if you can take care of them equally.
Yeah.
But we tend to see where the Quran says you can marry two or more. But we don't add, we don't complete
We don't
the
continue
verse.
with the narrative.
So I was trying to come in
we
when
want to talk about it. They blackmail us with
There
statements such as.
can't be any blackmail.
Do you know the statement? They blackmail us with statements such as.
You don't want
is
your
it
husband
only is it only even Muslim community children that go wayward? How many of present life parents children go wayward? How many of them? Even before the child go wayward, the child will make their family proud.
For me, I'm very particular about this.
Yes.
If you want, look at all Muslims who are rich, and look at how their children live,
on.
and look at Christians who are rich,
Exactly.
and compare their children to how our children live.
So like
It's
Tyler
so
was
sad.
talking about.
We need to talk about these things passionately for there to be a change. Right? We are not saying that every rich Muslim or every Muslim is like that. There are exceptions. But the majority of us, it's as though that is what it is. Once you have the money, like everything else,
do what I want.
You get it.
And the woman should agree with me on anything I want to
Anything you
do,
want to
and
do.
anyhow I want to live.
You get it.
So you see, so Lala Puluma, sometimes I have issues with our malams,
I wanted to come there because
religious
it's-
leaders. You understand?
Yes.
And sometimes I have always tried as much as possible not to enter inside any religious matters because
Yes.
religious matters,
Yes.
they yellow topam. I feel like some I feel like some of our malams, but there are interpretations, ma.
Manipulative
Them
too.
them favor Basha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Abang Abu, what it is favoring them, then they hammer on it. Either than that, forget. When it is not favoring the general public, then be favored it. Then come and do tam. Do you know that most of our malams, most of them, they keep hammering on the fact that zina zina is not good. Yes, zina. You understand? So they make it look like, at the end, it looks like zina that is the ultimate. So once you do it, you are going to hellfire. You shouldn't do it. Forgetting that you are not also, you should try as much as possible to be truthful to your wives.
Yes.
Back to the two wives or whatever. Most of the malams, or some of the malams we know, they have caused divorces in their marriages.
I have no idea.
Karinyala Kamani, they have brought this particular new one and decided that, okay, they no longer, like Fela was saying, ma,
And they will show
there
it.
is no fair share.
They will show it.
The other
they
woman
will really
leave.
show
We
it.
know most of them. Abang lalabo. But we cannot say this. Abang lalabo. So why are we always doing the narrative in such a way that once it is favoring we the malams, then then you're fine.
Yes.
I'm a deep favor to them, condemn Republic, ma, then they should go to hell. So because those religious leaders, ma, do you know that there are certain people who don't joke with their word?
Yeah.
So whatever they say is final.
Yes.
So if they should come out, like we are now sitting here, crying for our society or maybe at the future of our society, ma, if they can come out all the time. Yes, I know somebody will see this and say that, but yarla wazupune and other things. But you see, forgive me to say this. Sahashal kanaya, or sometimes when you look at certain things very well, it's like kamane janglama pune in the mosque or whatever. That is not the right medium
For those
for
communications.
communications. man.
And let me
We need
take you
to
back
get
to let me
closer.
take you back to compare between how Christians handle their things and how we handle their. I mean, they don't play with children. Even in the church, they have a separate congregation or for children.
let me tell
For
you
the
this. They
children
have
to
For the children,
adapt preaching.
because the knowledge
To
never
apply-
pass.
But
Yes.
Sunday school.
Yes.
Sunday school.
Knowledge never pass to comprehend what you are telling the adults.
Manza made a video.
You get it?
Idi Manza
Yes,
Habib.
yes.
He made I
Yes.
even went to his place and interviewed him on that. He was like, okay, Fridays, we say that, okay, our children should go to the makaranta and stuff. But how many of us, yes, we beat the children to go to the makaranta, but how many of us go to the mosque with our kids? Even on Friday, no be never chang makaranta ho. Then you have problem, but on be chang to po janglanguna. It is normal. Now on Friday, that you send the kid to the mosque. Kijia ka imam mam, he is doing the hutuba, speaking plenty things. What is Jannabakom? And the kid is around 5 years, 6, 7 years. You are talking about okay, Jannabakom. You are talking about Zakayebo. He doesn't know what you are talking about. So he was like, what about every Friday? We also get a different malam. He now gathered these small kids,
that are there.
send them somewhere else. Preaching.
And you realize that in the mosques, because those things are not happening, the children are there making noise.
Yes.
But we are not
And
crying.
they are
And we
chasing them
ourselves,
away.
we are even chasing them away.
You get it?
Now you send the kids somewhere
Because
and
they
you are
have no
teaching
interest
them
in what you are
how
saying.
to respect their parents. Abang level.
Yes.
I'm respect our parents. La verse ma. Abang if we
But
put
then,
life here,
that is what made us,
Very
grow
good.
up with responsibility.
because
or to be
see,
responsible.
we go to the mosque man, on Friday, then you are the imam is giving the sermon. Come on, kujia, beautiful. Man,
No, you are not even hearing what he's
The
saying.
last time I took my child to the mosque, that was during the fasting ma, Ramadan. Bo, ka hear about zakah. He doesn't know what zakah is. But I was sending him there to learn something. So at the end of the day, we just sit and come back. He doesn't understand what
He
we are
hasn't
talking
gotten
about.
anything
So
from
if
it.
we
And
have a
that's how
different
we grow.
space,
That is actually
where-
how we grow into
And
just
Hamdan,
doing the 5 daily
see,
prayers rather than fear God.
See, Faila,
Because we just
let me
follow-
add
we
this.
just follow what we
And do you
see.
know that the Makaranta was the place where like they were going to instill serious discipline on us? But I'm even shout. Our people feel like, forgive me, Afanima. Our people feel like
Keep asking for forgiveness.
kubum bema bubramba denye discipline ma. Ashika denye discipline ma. Sometimes being it to no mistake, yeah, you bring the child close. And you feel like shele. Yeah, Afanima, tenam pambian ya. Tabo karamvin ya langa karinya kashele. Bra burtame kar.
Kategui.
Abang labo. Tramala, we have a session. We're having this particular session in the Makaranta. If you are sitting in the middle, to inunka fiabrma. Ababo. So if they teach you this today, you don't understand. Tomorrow you don't understand. The next minute they will push you to the middle. Then they will start beating you. Anything at all, it be you them go beat. Abang labo. So at the end of the
Come
day, we
home
keep
with
on running
virtually
away.
nothing in
Now
your
they
head.
don't want us to mention that. It's because of some of the beatings that they now go and do the comparison that okay, so benda burbama wula kabambonga banto nankamo, we are not all the same.
Yes.
Abangabo. So until we understand that we are not all the same, we are going to have issues. And that is why now look at this. I had to Bishop Tamerchan private schools member Yarama. They are now equally doing well in the Makarantas because now those privatized Makaranta they don't beat kids like that.
Yes.
So you see that within 7-8 years, a child bima or in social Quran. So it means that it is not always about the cane. Communication
And
is
halle.
very important.
Halle.
Halle, chua, we afangu mwaka na gumia. Afangu mwaka na gumia. You understand? So we beg them. And also I was talking about channel, like the channel where like we do like that kind of, you see, kaman sobe ababu, no yama gafara. Sobe ababu, rabi bata kwana mane. Dan shelen kanko enchante wom wazu. Dan shelen kanko enchante nongo.
I'm telling
Do you know, up till date, I will continue to respect this. You see, music. Music is very important. Music, they say that it's like a bullet. Once it hits you. Do you know that musically, tamala yila shangabian karakunye wazu.
Of
Yes.
course, yeah.
Kaman kasoku wumle.
Yes.
Policeman, oda yilo yili shele. Lala yilama, karajia, oda yelma net time shelte and kamanaya. There will be a time where like zina is now like kind of like a joke, where it is out there in the public. Like so many people will be lying and those stuff, like smoking member yarama. Pumpon, we are seeing those things.
Yes,
You understand? So lala medium ma. Kajia kaya me and the music is not good. Forgive me again. Abang lalabo. So it is about time. We don't only look at la discipline ma from the mosque, from the makaranta or in the church, but it is also with some people like God has selected Abang lalabo in His own way. Ko pass lala important messages ma
Through them.
Maltra through them. Kabaza in their own way, the form in which they are going to bring it out. Kaba yelena. And I have a friend of mine who told me that he got saved by Sharif Galida Malo Yilshanga. Kaya na dennam kan wum. Kara save you from like some waywardness shanga. You understand? So if we really take, and that is why always I advise the current crop of musicians, mama.
Yes.
Bro, it is very sad. They feel like going high before you climb the stage
Right.
is the way to go. And I feel it is a different topic we should discuss another day. Abang lalabo. Now, just look, I don't even want to mention names.
Yes.
No, it's not necessary.
Yes.
It's not
Abang
necessary.
lalabo.
I get you. Very
You
good
see them,
talents.
Okwempila Zobuna, very beautiful, nice kid. All of a sudden, Kotichirapuna, you see, the funny thing is that what they don't know is that the picture ma is very huge on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see the smoky lips ma, the eyes ma. So
The behavior alone.
The behavior alone.
It has a picture you cannot
Yes.
avoid.
You can
when
no,
it
you
starts
can't
reflecting
run
on
away
you.
from the
Yes,
picture
when
ma.
it
And
starts
see,
drawing.
there is one funny thing. Once an artist, you involve yourself in Lela character ma. It is very difficult for somebody to lead you to a company to get any sponsorship or record deal with you.
Exactly.
Because they know that those people, there is one thing about them, they are not stable. They can mess up with your plans anytime
Yes.
at all. They can take it and go off anytime.
Nobody
You can
wants
have
bad
any
investments.
serious programs with them and they mess up with you. So I'm just urging that
Okay.
our current musicians, mama,
They should use
their
voice.
lyrics very good. Their
use their
voice,
voice.
but you see, they should.
their
We have
publicity.
there's this song, Tishala Taba, those
Yes.
kind of things,
Yes.
man. It is very unfortunate. If we could have some regulatory bodies where, like, yes, I know, okay, fine, anybody at all can do whatever they want, but can we also take care of our airwaves?
Freedom.
Can we also take care of some of our lyrics?
Yeah.
I understand, Yabo. Because now, if you go to the clubs, those are the songs people jam to. You go to the clubs, Charlie, it is very sad. So I'm just hoping that at the end of the day, we can be able to come out of this problem, Uma. And other than that, we are going to face it in the near future to
Very
come.
near. We have to be strong and dedicated about these things. Strong and dedication in the sense that, like I was saying, allow the community to take care of your child for you and for the whole community. It shouldn't just be your responsibility. I was coming from Yendi the other time. It was very late. We were coming from Bimbila actually, and then the car got spoiled and a whole lot. We got to Yendi, it was around 12. We had to get to Tamale. I saw kids outside and I was like, but how can this small boy be? From the driver, masa olorin saya ma ajio Yendi moza soka mio me. Wonna lar pa shangagba akuto marba. So money is making him feel big. Why is it that these women, they are saying, sorry, the person that said that, only akuto marba, why are they allowing themselves to be moved by the money he has? Exactly. Sometimes if we as a community, we go against those things. I don't think even if a child is able to make money the way he made his money, that might be legal or illegal, would be able to disrespect. And now there's so much disrespect that comes with the substance abuse.
You see, the issue is more complicated than we are looking at it.
Right.
Because that's what Fela said. You are looking at this kid and you are thinking he's going wayward. Some people are eating from him.
Right.
Yeah.
So the moment you step in to correct or to say anything, they see you as an enemy.
One time.
So you see where the issue come.
Yes.
Those days, truth was very eminent. Everybody wanted the truth. But now everybody wants to fill their stomach.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So there's no, like, the wrong can be the right. And the right can be the wrong, depending on where you find yourself in the scale of, wealth.
I was seated somewhere and they didn't look at me to be someone who is a Dagomba by tribe or can even speak the dialect very well. And a grown-up woman was telling her child, a young guy, and I'm quoting, atab za ko hitir makanyan ko jia.
Yeah, man.
Atab za banan dalwara na man den ya nku dress range ka jia. Ngot baraba me 3 rooms. I'm telling you for a fact that this was a family I knew from afar, that they didn't know me.
Exactly.
The guy has gone into substance abuse because the pressure from the mother,
It would come.
and he trying to be like those guys, and it didn't work out. He has to resort to substances that will make him feel
Because
better off of
The
himself.
first step in being like those guys would have to be he getting close to those guys.
Yes.
Exactly.
And getting close to them would have to mean that he does what they do.
They do.
And you see,
And we all know what this entails.
Hamdan,
Let's round up our time.
We've spoken much about this, and for me, anytime I have the privilege
Let's
to be with people like you and to voice out what I tell the past generation, us, and the next, is that, look, if you are coming from a family, I bear with some of them that they didn't get parental care and love. They didn't get parental support. They didn't get family encouragement. It's okay.
That's not the end of it.
You have the opportunity not to go wayward. Love yourself. If your parents and your family didn't love you, give a chance to yourself. You can imagine having that pain from your family and still looking at yourself in the future. And then you can't smile about yourself. As I said, I feel good about myself.
Right.
I'm not wayward. I don't do bad stuffs. When I wake up, I'm thinking about my work, how I can socialize with good people like you, mingle with people who are also living normal and mentally okay, and how we can go about the future. Imagine you can't come and sit amongst us because you chose to go wayward. There are 2 choices, the good and the bad. Give yourself a chance that when the pressure comes, I still want to stay good. If you can't talk to your family, you can't still maneuver your way into your family to give yourself a second chance, like those girls who are bold enough to talk about their regrets. Hop onto other people's families.
Yeah.
There are people who are willing to listen to you.
Right.
There are people who are willing to support you. When I say support comes in many forms. Right. They might not have financial, cash for you, but they can help you through somebody. Go and learn a trade.
Yeah, man.
Learn a job. Do something for yourself. It goes both ways on the female and the male.
Yeah.
Our males who are trying to go into rehab from here, who have flopped from maybe grace to grass, feel that my colleagues are going to laugh at me for not being who I was anymore.
Okay, so for me, going forward, I totally agree with what Fela has said. And for me, I also think top on our agenda should be education. But funny enough, most of these kids, when they get into these substance abuse, it takes them out of education. And I think that from the beginning, we should make sure that home education is top on our list, and also like school education as well, because we cannot, do away with either of them. We should make sure that we are in every step of the way in the lives of our children. And I also think that our ulama man should also, try and do something away from what we've been doing all this while, because now we have what we call a new generation. So, and they say that a new generation of dogs, it be the new generation what they catch them. Yes. A new generation problem, it be the new generation solutions would solve them. So we need to be more tactical about how we, approach some of these things. Let's get into these camps and talk to these people. They are our children. We can't run away from that fact, regardless of where they find themselves now. And as she was saying, sometimes they just need somebody to talk to, and that can change a whole lot. So I think we need to have a holistic approach to the solution. And we're even talking about the fact that we've broken away from how our forefathers used to, I've forgotten the word to use, how they used to, bring us up, as a society. We can still do that, but probably now, not by, whipping or by putting those kinds of measures, but by, talking to, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Things have changed. So let's also try to change our way of doing things. And I'm sure, it will help.
Right.
Snap.
So what I would want to say is that choice is good, but choice of safety is better. So we as individuals should try as much as possible to take care of ourselves first.
Yes.
We can try everything possible to try and get into their heads, get into the lives of these people that have gone wayward in quotes. But if they don't accept to change themselves, it would go wrong for everybody. For us, investing our time, our finances, and everything in it, and for them investing putting their lives on a hold or ending their lives with these substances. Why am I saying this? You can do whatever, take whoever to a rehab center, do whatever you want to do. They will come out, be clean for a while, get influenced by these things again, and then it becomes a problem again. So why don't they also accept that, okay, I have to change, if not for anything at all, for my family, for my friends, and for who I want to be in future. Some of them think, okay, it's now. There's nothing like future. They are living the life now. So
but I think we have to give those who are willing to change a chance.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
There are some of them, all they need is help.
Good. So it's because they are willing to help, to change,
Yes.
they will change.
Yes.
We would give everybody the help because we don't, right now, you don't know who is willing to change. That's why I said the choice of safety is important. Let's make that choice for ourselves.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So what I just have to say, this message goes to our elders, our chiefs, our leaders that we should be able to face it. You understand? Face the fact. Forget about the monies you are going to get from these people who are influencing this our younger generation. Let's do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, once you are dead and gone, the generation you are leaving behind after taking all of these monies and then not doing what you are supposed to do, the generation you are leaving behind is going to be so unfortunate. You are giving birth to kids, and you are going to leave the kids. So what hands are you leaving the kids in there? You understand? So it's very important. Now, Abu Sadiq, there is this song, I can't come here without singing a song. There is this song from Abu Sadiq, and that is why I was telling you that whether we like it or not, music is like a bullet, and it hits you in the heart. So come da kul for me, lolo come da kul for me, kate wum de filango, oda vola table, ndani guluguya kate dalari, ne jaman shele bietonia, ne sakana kazna teliabla na chinsia.
Just look at
var ne timanum ngoma habiane. Kanisa te porna woni. O gamdama kanyer nyuaun ka yelmang la karni. Listen. Ka jirit le nam nyungum belang male ame pule ko pale.
Exactly.
What you are talking about. Ka tone tele twabo. Ka nyanga tele twabo ka te sur sam. Zo jamal bangwa kande gan yapsane.
just look at
Odo na puzogo mvoro tabadro ka gulpil barmania. So it's very important. So if we don't speak the truth and then we keep on lying, one day what we are going to face ahead, the front is going to be terrible, back is going to be terrible, and we are going to find ourselves in the midst of
Beautiful
wars
message
and
from that
problems.
song.
So
That song,
Charlie, that be what I get.
Abu Sadiq has always been my go-to person when it comes to message.
yes.
When it comes to message.
Well.
Right.
That be
Well, for me, I also still emphasize on the fact that fathers should, take responsibility for the lives of your children, your family. You have to put in that conscious effort. God is not coming down to take care of anybody's child. You have to take that conscious effort to make sure that you raise responsible children in the community. Every single one of us. If I do so, she does so, he does so, there won't be any child on the streets anymore. So it is our responsibility, immediate responsibility, is the family from which these children comes from. So we have to take it very serious. We have to take it very serious, because what is about to happen in a few years from now, it's not palatable. Nobody will like it. It's already happening. But if we take stringent measures, we'll be able to at least tone it down. Now you see kids roaming about with knives, with guns. Where are we heading with this kind of life? So please, my brothers, my fathers, my uncles, we have to make sure we are raising responsible children. As she said, it's not just about giving chop money. When you give the chop money, make sure that he's using that money to buy food and not weed. Make sure he's using that money to buy food and not drugs, tramadol.
Marijuana.
It is your responsibility to know what your child is up to. And you have to be in their life every step of the way. Let's hold ourselves responsible. We know in this part of the world, we are not very fortunate to be wealthy. Some of us are doing okay, but the majority of us are poor. Though it doesn't take money to raise a child, but those who want to marry more than one wives, you need to be of a certain financial muscle to be able to take care of your 2 wives and take care of many children. So we have to think about all of these things before you marry a second wife. Analyze yourself. Can you still be able to take responsibility for your first wife and the children, and add this one and her children as well, and make sure that all of them grow up to be responsible children? We are not saying it's wrong to have a polygamous family. Ask yourself a question. Will you be able to take care of them?
And be proud of
And be proud of the children you raise before you get into anything like that. And as I said earlier on, there is a notion that I don't have money, so I'll let my children do whatever they want, or my children will do whatever they want to survive. Money is not it. It's about the values you instill in your children.
Presence and responsibility.
Regardless of how much you have, you can still raise responsible children who will grow up to be very important people in society and will come back and take good care of you. But if you don't, and they don't become responsible, we all are at war.
Yes.
I think that's what I would have to say before we end this show. And for me, it's a very critical issue. So we are going to be, bringing you series of conversations around this. And we are putting together, as I put on the Facebook page, we are putting together a Boys and Girls Club where we can, invite some of these young chaps to, for people like Faila, for people like Damba, to talk to them. Some of them, all they need is somebody to talk to, and they will change their lives. And so very soon we'll be putting out the channels to which we will be, doing these things. And once it is out there, I'm sure, some of you will see it, and then we start somewhere. We start somewhere. At least, even if we are able to change one person, I think it makes sense. If I'm able to change one person, she's able to change one person. And I also think that in the schools, teachers should take it upon themselves to introduce, before every lesson, to introduce moral talks with these children. Introduce moral talks with these children, especially starting from the primary level, because we think that these are children, but they are in it as well. The primary school children are in it as well. So everybody should prioritize it and find a way. Find a way. And now I think that's how the society can help. Find a way. If you see somebody going through it, don't sit down and say, find a way to talk to the person. If it's beyond you, talk to somebody you think can talk to the person, to talk to the person. Maybe they will change. Maybe they will change. All right, so on that note, we bring the conversation to an end. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And thanks to my panelists for coming through to give us their mind on the conversation and the use of substance abuse by children, which we all feel is not good. So until the next conversation, see you. We out.